Thank you, Jean. Thank you, everybody. It's really a pleasure and quite an honor to be here with all of you today. I'm excited to share Berkeley Online's story with all of you and the multiplicity of stages and steps we went through to get to Berkeley Online's success today. And I want to point out folks from our team that are here today. It's a rare, wonderful opportunity to present across the street from the office and be able to welcome the people who really, the work that I'm going to show you today is what they have done. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope that our story will help you as you contemplate your own digital or online learning strategy. And I've structured this presentation to be in 3 parts. First is an overview about Berkeley Online. And then I'd like to take you actually inside of an online course so you can see how it is that we teach music online. And then finally, time for questions. So to begin, I'd like to first share a little bit about Berkeley. Berkeley's a contemporary music school founded in 1945, right here, around the corner here. Music of the day was jazz when Berkeley was founded, and Berkeley was founded on the principle that you could teach music through music of the day. So we have a rich tradition in jazz, but today when you walk through the halls of Berkeley, you'll hear everything from rock, pop, hip hop, country, world music, Africana studies, all kinds of music. It's an incredible place. Just a few years ago, we merged with the Boston Conservatory, adding musical theater, dance, and classical music to Berkeley. 5 years ago, we opened a campus in Valencia, Spain, for elite master's programs and study abroad. And what I'm really here to talk to you about today is Berkeley Online, which we started 18 years ago. The mission of Berkeley Online has always been to expand the reach of the college and provide music education opportunities to musicians all over the world. We're standing on the shoulders of a very rich tradition in distance learning. We had something called the correspondence course back in the 50s and 60s, lesson booklets that were sent through the mail. Students would send them back, get them graded. Faculty were paid $1 per booklet. And it's interesting, our very first course author for Berkeley Online, Paul Schmeling, wrote our very first online course. He was a grader for the correspondence course back then. Some of the alumni that came through the correspondence course are amazing. Michelle Camillo, Alf Clausen, who wrote the music for The Simpsons for the past 25 years, and Gary Burton, a multi-Grammy winning jazz artist. We've set the tuition for Berkeley Online to be 65% less than the campus. Any given year, it's between 60 and 65. And we really have always been about access and affordability with Berkeley Online. We serve primarily adult learners, which many of you know that makes up 85% of the higher ed market. 60% of our students are working while they're in college. They're raising families. They're not first-time college students at all. Most of them come to us with about 30 credits to their name. And we have wonderful musicians from household name bands. Stefan Lazard, who's the bass player in the Dave Matthews Band, takes courses with us all the time. Upper left there, Fraser T. Smith co-wrote the song Set Fire to the Rain by Adele. He produced some of her music. And he takes courses with us on an as-need basis. He told us he took our keyboard course because he wanted to play the keyboard parts in Set Fire to the Rain himself, and he did. We have, entrepreneurs. Jim Kerr, who founded Orbitz, is a student of ours. The list goes on. It's really folks from all walks of a musical life, or folks who are at a point in their career where they're ready to turn to a musical life. Our instructors are primarily Berkeley faculty, but we also use industry luminaries. And our dedicated staff, we've got 80 people now that will run through walls for our students. And we're structured in a way that is really like a microcosm of the college. We are a vertically integrated enterprise, and we have functional areas for everything you would expect at a college. So Berkeley Online has all of these departments ourselves. We also have about 200 online instructors. Our catalog is very diverse, and I'd like to have our president, Roger Brown, tell you about our catalog. It's a 2-minute video that I'm going to share with you right now. This is when it's supposed to start to play. I don't know what's happening. Well, I'll tell you about the catalog. Our president coined the phrase, the Berkeley Online wedding cake, as a way to decipher the different offerings that we have. And if you look at the layers, as you move up through them, the cost increase as does access to faculty in small, intimate cohorts. So the MOOCs are free. We have MOOCs, but you don't have access to faculty if you're a student in our MOOCs. And then if you take a course or a certificate program or enroll in a degree program, you're promised a small, intimate experience, a 12-week semester, one Berkeley instructor, and up to no more than 20 students. We have a promise to our students there'll never be more than 20 in a class. No TAs, no teaching assistants, or anything like that, graduate assistants. It's all Berkeley faculty that you're studying with. And this is the depth of the catalog. 2 master's degrees, 8 majors in the bachelor's program, 40 certificates, 200 courses, and we also have 30 MOOCs. Our enrollments are 11,000, as Jean mentioned, and that's how, this is how it breaks down by layer. Our MOOCs are tracking at 192,000 per year. We've got about 30 MOOCs, as I mentioned. But we didn't always have this diverse catalog. We started in 2002 with just some online courses. In 2004, we added certificate programs and waited 8 years before we did anything else. The certificate programs helped us to grow significantly. In 2012, we decided to enter the MOOC space. Most schools enter the MOOC space to have an online presence. We already had a significant online presence, but we had other strategic goals with the MOOCs that I'll share with you. 2013, we partnered with our good friends at SNHU on a co-branded MBA program. 2014 was a big year for us. We launched our first fully online bachelor's degree programs. Another MOOC provider we signed with in 2015. And this past fall, we welcomed our first fully online master's students. Soon, we are going to be offering master's courses and certificate programs. And this has really been important for our growth, to have this diversified catalog that's completely market-driven. And there's nothing we've developed that we didn't first identify a market need. This is how enrollments have grown as it relates to the new products that we've introduced over time. So as you can see, with courses, we grew to 2,000 enrollments. With certificates, we went from 2,000 to 8,000. And now with the bachelor's degree, we grew to 11,000. Master's is brand new, and we're expecting a lot of growth with those as well. For those of you who are into marketing and recruitment, our wedding cake acts very much like a marketing funnel if you flip it. So our students will take a MOOC, they'll sample a MOOC, and then enroll in an online course or apply to the degree program. They discover us through the MOOCs. We have a wonderful marketing team that has figured out a way to leverage the MOOC volume to find prospective students. I'll give you a short example of that. So let's say you're in a MOOC, you've signed up for our music production specialization. While you're in that MOOC, you'll get some emails from us. The email is to the left, saying, we've got some additional videos that your instructor created. If you'd like these videos, click here. That takes you to the landing page that's on the right. And this is where prospective students can indicate that they'd like to learn more about studying with Berkeley Online. The results of these activities has been really positive. In 5.5 years of being in the MOOC space, we've received almost 100,000 email addresses from prospective students. We continue to nurture those leads. 42 of them have turned into fully fledged online degree students, 536 certificate program students, and often certificate program students become degree students over time. So it's been a really powerful thing. But entering the MOOC space for us was not just about marketing and recruitment. We had other strategic goals, which includes raising visibility for all of Berkeley. So 2.4 million enrollments in the past 5.5 years has really raised visibility for Berkeley. It helped to diversify our wedding cake portfolio. We've done some philanthropic things with our MOOCs, like creating MOOCs in Spanish and in Portuguese, not just translated, but fully in Spanish and Portuguese through a grant with the IDB. Industry partnerships, and so on. Now I'd like to switch gears and tell you about our technology philosophy, because I think it will resonate with some of you. I know folks are wrestling with signing with an OPM, doing it yourself, off-the-shelf platforms, or building things yourselves, and I'd like to share with you how that has evolved for us. So in 2001, when we started Berkeley Online, we had no choice. We had to build everything. There were no OPMs. There were no off-the-shelf anything for what we needed. So we built an admissions panel, a registrar and finance and support functions, an email marketing tool, a shopping cart, custom integrations, data reporting, all of that we built ourselves, and of course our learning platform. In 2013, we made the shift, the philosophical shift, that we were not going to recreate the wheel and build things that existed in the world now that we've been in this space for a while. We couldn't possibly compete with the likes of Salesforce for our admissions panel or Service Cloud for the registrar and finance and support functions we built. So we have been replacing the things that we built with best-in-breed products and services. It was a pain point initially with our technology team who came on board to build everything. So there was some turnover when we made that shift. A lot of them said to me, I agree with the direction you're going in, but it's not what I signed up for. So we have a team that believes in the direction we've taken. And I want to say that although we have made a commitment to buy everything, we made one exception, and that is to continue to build that which is uniquely Berkeley. So the exception is that we continue to build the online learning experience, the experience of learning music. So this is a screenshot of our new online learning platform called Bochy. And Bochy is a little over 2 years old, and it was built with 2 guiding principles: to remove barriers to teaching and learning and to create a sense of community within the online learning platform. We built it on an open source, it's built on top of open source Canvas. So we use Canvas as data model, gradebook, all of the administrative tools, the non-student facing tools, we're leveraging Canvas. But for the student experience, we've built that. So if you took a Berkeley Online course, and I encourage you to do that, you would not recognize your course experience as being in a Canvas environment. We built it. It's fully responsive, so you could take your course on a phone, on a tablet, on a computer, and it's cloud-based, so we have no in-house servers. And students love it. I get messages like this all the time. This is from a student who gave me permission to share. You'll see your team has created one of the greatest music education platforms for adult learners. I'm extremely grateful. So we get those kind of messages a lot from students with Bochy. We've won a lot of awards for quality and strategy with online education, but the thing that we care most about is our high student satisfaction rate, 97%. The unique value proposition that we offer our students is in the form of project-based learning. So if you are in, let's say, a composing music for film and television course, by the time you finish that course, you have built a portfolio of professional work. And we're going to take a look at how we teach film scoring online and a look at students' assignments, actually scoring to film clips. We've secured all of the film clips that you see there, clips from those movies, so students have projects that they can do, write music, orchestrate the music, sync it to picture, and they've got a portfolio. And we hear from them all the time that this is opening doors for them. I'm going to take you inside an online course to show you how that works, but first, just a couple things about future plans. We're going to add more layers to our wedding cake. As I mentioned, graduate certificates, graduate courses, and more graduate degree programs. We're also going to begin to leverage Berkeley to make Berkeley College of Music more affordable and more flexible. So because we're 64% or 65% less than the college, if a student can take some courses before they get there and save on credits, save on tuition, we're all about that. If they need to leave during college for financial hardship reasons, personal reasons, or what happens more often than not at Berkeley is a career opportunity happens and they have to choose between their career and their education. So now with Berkeley Online, we're creating programs where they can continue their studies and not have to choose between their career and their education. And post-college, we're doing a lot with degree completion and of course lifelong learning. This is Michaela. She's an example of a Berkeley student who attended Berkeley in 2011. Her career took off. She's has a very busy touring schedule, and for the past 3 years, she's been studying with Berkeley Online. She'll be flying in from Malta this May to walk at graduation. So the secrets to Berkeley Online's success, that's one thing that Eileen asked me to kind of summarize before we do a tour of the online school. So dedicated staff and instructors. Who else has a team that shows up a Friday at 4 o'clock to watch a keynote? Student advisor and advisor and student relationship. We really went to school on SNHU when we partnered with them to create that MBA program. We're not competitors, and they took us under their wing and showed us when we were entering the degree space how they work their student and advisor relationship. So from application to graduation, our students have this one advisor that checks in on them all the time, calls them week 1 and week 3 in every single course they're in, helps remove hurdles, helps work with the faculty if they need to get some extra time on something. That relationship, we see it unfold at graduation. They see each other, the student starts to cry and says, you're the one who made a difference. So that's a real secret to our success. Market-driven, diverse product portfolio, continuing to diversify our offerings. That has been key to our success, and I believe it will continue to be. A state-of-the-art learning platform that is really conducive to teaching and learning music, high-quality courses, and business processes that are designed to support the adult learner and their busy lives. Our role is removing hurdles and helping our students succeed. So now I'd like to take you on a Berkeley Online course tour. The tour will be just about 10 minutes total, and then we'll open it up for questions. So I'm switching over to a different presentation platform for this one. This is called Prezi. And this will have some audio, hopefully. So this is a snapshot of a course in Bochy. This is composing music composition for film and television. And you can see on the left-hand side is the syllabus that you can navigate through. There's some tools there, and the lesson is on the right. I've grabbed screenshots. I'm not actually live in the LMS, but if you'd like to see that later, I'll show you. In this course, this is interesting. We did test this before. Yeah, students, well, I'll tell you what it says. Students learn the skills and the tools that they need to orchestrate. It looks good on that screen. Oh, it just doesn't look good on mine. Okay, that's good. To create music for all of these scenes and scenarios and character types. So every week they focus on something different, whether it's comedy music or thriller or chase scenes. And we've secured movies, clips from these motion pictures. So as I mentioned, students leave the course with a portfolio of professional work. We're going to take a look at the lesson on comedy music and a portion of the lesson and how we teach music online. So here we are. Before we get into comedy music, we always try to create a sense of community within the classroom. So we start with a meet and greet. What's your name? Where are you from? What instrument do you play? And what do you hope to get out of this course? This is where the community starts to form. So this is a student named Noriyuki Azuma from Osaka, Japan. And I'm going to play a little bit of the music that she posted along with her introduction. You can read her introduction to the class there. It's film music class, so all the examples are going to be film music-like. So we should be hearing some audio now. No? There we go. So that goes on for some time. And now we have Evan Lux. Evan is a high school student who got into Berkeley, but he's taking this course before arriving on campus. He's got a big symphony orchestra piece that's going to be performed for him at graduation, and a little bit of his music I'll play for you in the background now. Again, film music. There are 20 of those. Everybody in the class does that, and then they start to communicate with each other. And finally, the instructor weighs in, Ben Newhouse, who says, what a great group. We've got people from New Jersey, Burbank, Brazil, France, and Japan. He gives them some tips on how to get the most out of the course and kind of sets the stage to move forward. So now we're going to jump into the lesson on comedy music. The learning objectives for this week on comedy music, is to write music that conveys a sense of comedy, that supports comedy scenes. They're going to be orchestrating using pizzicato strings, that's short attacks, pizzicata, and staccato woodwinds, also short attacks. And we're going to hear examples of that. So the first thing they do is they're going to listen to a comedy cue, comedy music from a film, and then analyze it, analyze the harmony, the melody, all the aspects of that piece. So we're going to play a little bit of it now. Try to listen in for the music underneath all the action that's going on. And I don't seem to have volume control, so feel free to boost or soften. Okay. Okay, so that's a cue that they're now going to analyze. I don't know if you heard in the bottom there was this bump, 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 bump being played in the trombone parts. So we're going to hear that now. We're going to make that louder. Oh. We're going to try that one more time. It's got a little bit of a delay. Sorry about that. All right, this is the bouncy pizzicata bass line. Bump, 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 bump. You'll hear next, I believe. There it is. I just have to be patient. And next, they're going to learn a new scale. So you've been hearing that major scale over and over that you probably recognize. The scale next to it is called an altered scale. It raises and lowers two different pitches on the scale that give it a comedy feeling. So you'll hear now the major scale, and then you'll hear an altered scale played back to back. And think of the Simpsons theme, the da-da. You'll hear a little bit of that in the altered scale. Here's the major scale. And now the altered scale. Hear those different notes? So now the students are learning, if they use an altered scale, they might be able to convey a sense of comedy. So here is that same theme that we heard in the movie, but now it's what's called a piano reduction. Just a piano is playing those parts. So we're using that scale and stacking the notes. Here it is. Okay, so now it's time for the students to try their hand at writing a comedy vamp. A vamp is something that just doesn't go anywhere. It just keeps the same music back and forth. So here is the exercise. This is not the portfolio-based project that they're doing. This is just a little exercise to make sure that they understand the concept that they've learned so far. So in this exercise, they're going to write a bass line, that bump, 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 that alternates between those two notes, integrate the harmony using the scale that we learned with the sharp fourth and the flat seventh, and orchestrate it. So we are going to now listen to a student example. I've received permission from the student named Dusan to play his comedy vamp. And you can see in the comment he made with the file he posted that he used that raised fourth and lowered seventh and added a melody and orchestrated it. It was a fun thing to do. So he's gaining a tool belt of ways to convey comedy music through his composition. Here's Dusan's exercise. Oh. So it goes on, but he's got the idea. So if we were to go through this entire lesson on comedy music, it would take us about 9 hours. That used to say hours. Does it say hours? No, okay. I don't know about Prezi. Anyway, we're going to jump to the assignment. So here's the assignment. We give them a cue from the movie, Meet the Parents, and the scene is set. They download the scene. They have to compose the music to support the scene based on all the things they learn in the lesson. We haven't looked at the lesson, but they've learned a lot of things about writing comedy music, and then upload it for everyone to listen to and critique. And I want to just point out that a lot of learning happens here, a lot of collaboration and communication and a sense of community happens here. Every single one of those that you see, those are student assignments. They can listen to each other's assignments, they can critique each other's assignments with a given rubric, but they also can listen to the feedback from the instructor on every single person's assignment. And I've been in classes at Berkeley, songwriting classes and such, where you have time to listen to maybe 2 assignments and critique together. But with this platform, with online learning, a motivated student can gain so much out of listening to everyone's assignments and listening to the feedback. So I received permission from Serial to play his scene from Meet the Parents. Fingers crossed, everybody. So the music is by...
Before we begin our various activities today, I want to draw your attention to the construction occurring, give that to Denny, which could affect our driving to and from the rehearsal dinner this evening. Greg? Any questions?
Yeah. Oh, me.
Denny?
About the rehearsal dinner?
Yeah?
Do we really have to eat at a place called the Surf and Turd?
What?
Does say that, Dave. Where's that?
It says turd.
Honey, I thought you were going to proofread this.
Actually, Greg did a spell check for me on the computer, and I...
Yeah, I'm sorry. My bad.
So that's not the entire assignment, but that gives you an idea. All the music you heard was from the student, and he certainly can support comedy scenes now with what he learned in this lesson. Then comes the instructor feedback. Bochy will enable our instructors to use audio, video, text, whatever they'd like, and there's no uploading of files. They just click a button and speak, or click a button and you see them, and the video feedback is there. Ben has chosen to provide audio feedback and a little bit of text here. There's also an annotated PDF where he has annotated the score, the music that the student has written. I'm going to play the audio now, and Pete, it's going to be a little loud, so maybe turn it down a little bit. Unfortunately, the critique always starts with lots of positive things, and I won't make you sit through it all, but I'll just play a little bit of Ben's critique of this assignment.
Excellent, Serial. This came out really well. Some thoughts there in the text, but, first of all, just very good comedy colors. The bouncy pizzicato, the staccato woodwinds, it just clearly sounds like comedy music, comedy film cinematic music. It immediately cues the audience and the listener that this is light, it's not that serious, it's funny, we're supposed to laugh. So good job with it.
So he goes on and then gives him some suggestions and critiques about his work. I have to tell you that over the years, we used to have challenges when the only tool available was text for critique, because you're putting your heart and soul into writing your music, and then you can interpret tone when you read text. But when it's an audio file, you can hear the empathy and the understanding, and it's just so much more powerful to have those tools. So that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you, and now I'd love to open it up for questions. Anything that you'd like to know. We have a microphone there and there and there. So.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Helen from 6th Graders. This is fascinating. I have two questions.
Sure.
So comparing with the physical classes, are there any gaps in the education? For example, like jazz, maybe, that people want to jam together live and to be creative together. Would this sort of teaching be possible with online, perhaps maybe down the road with the technology? That's question number one. Question number two is about the outcome of this education, this online education. It seems like the music is an area where there's a lot of socializing with maybe famous musicians to have performance together so that you can launch a career, on a great trajectory of the career. Would the online graduate students have similar kind of opportunities? Yeah.
Great question. So I'll start with the second one. It's amazing the bonds that form in the online courses. It becomes a very intimate setting, and we've had students that go on to start businesses together, place each other's music in film and television. I have a funny story. Actually, we had a student place a teacher's piece in a movie, which is amazing. But yeah, there are lots of opportunities for them to collaborate and then continue those relationships and help them open doors and further their career goals. And then for the first question, you're right. That's the one piece we haven't really been able to crack yet, is real-time live performance that doesn't have any kind of delay or latency. So I believe that day is coming. There are things like internet too, but we like to always make sure that we're delivering something that all of our students can enjoy, and they're the least common denominator as far as technical requirements. So you can do real-time things, but it requires technology that most of our students wouldn't have. But I think it's coming. We have a couple of things that we're looking at, though. We're looking at perhaps having a summer semester where students can come and participate in ensembles. We also do something called Berkeley on Site, where we invite our students to come for a long weekend in the summer and provide opportunities for them to jam together. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Yes?
Barbara Tracy from the Harvard Ed School. Super presentation.
Thank you.
Can you say a little bit more how you prepared the teachers for both the way they're interacting with the students as well as how they design the courses?
Sure. Well, we have one of our wonderful course designers here, Emma Fernandez. So we train the faculty right before they begin to teach. There's a 2-hour training session that they go through, and then we have one person, Boriana Alexiev, who's in charge of scheduling the faculty and even monitoring them, making sure that everybody's staying on time with grading, because adult learners are very, they want to, if they turn it in on time, they better be graded on time. And our faculty are wonderful, but sometimes life gets in the way, and Boriana does a good job of keeping people moving along. The course development process is incredible. It's a lot of work. We invest about $88,000 in every course that we build. When you look at all the infrastructure, we assign a course developer who is the lifeline for the subject matter expert that helps faculty realize their expertise in an online format. So they challenge them to, this might be better as an animation, this might be better as a video. We have a great video team. It's about 300 hours of work for the faculty member to develop a 12-week course with us. We have graphic designers, and we really try to make it the best possible experience, anticipating different learning styles and questions. But the instructor is required, the course author is required to teach the course the first 3 times it runs, so that anything we didn't think of, any places where students are falling down, we work with the instructor, the author, to fix the course in places that it needs. So I think that's primarily, we have an authoring course that they have to go through, and we pay our authors a royalty for the courses they develop with us. So they're truly our partners. They're our marketing partners. They really want to keep the course current, keep it fresh, and make sure that if they're not teaching it anymore, that there are great people teaching it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
First of all, congratulations. Seems like a great program. I wanted to ask you, with all the numbers of enrollment that you showed us, I think you said you have no teaching assistants, that the faculty does all the work. Can you explain how that works? Because the math doesn't seem to work in my mind in terms of the number of hours, particularly given the detailed feedback that they give.
Sure. So I should start by saying that Berkeley faculty teach for us outside of their campus work. So nobody has to teach for Berkeley Online. We only work with people who want to. And we also have industry luminaries teaching for us. So it's not just faculty. But we have 1 instructor and up to 20 students in a section, a course section. So hundreds of sections run every semester. And yeah, so they spend between 5 and 7 hours a week grading assignments, holding, there's 1 real-time component to our courses where they hold an office hour, a chat that takes place right now in WebEx, but we're replacing WebEx with Zoom pretty soon. But it really works. We've been doing it now for 18 years, and the model works. Most of our courses are about 14 people, but we'll never go over 20.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. So it's them.
Hi, Alexis Estrella from Harvard as well. I'm really impressed at the journey that Berkeley Online has taken, and I wonder if if you were to offer a few words of advice or things to focus on for an entrepreneur like me,
yes,
who's worked on online learning and helped to grow departments into hopefully something that looks like this. What would you tell that person to focus on?
I would say focus on what's unique to that institution. If you're helping them grow their programs, what really sets them apart from others. So for Berkeley, it was contemporary music education, popular music education, and career-driven education for music. And to be market-driven, we have a lot of faculty who come to us with their life's work and say, I want this to be an online course. And it's really popular on campus, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be popular with our adult learners. So surveying and making sure that after all the investment of time and effort, that the students are going to be lining up for the courses. And trying different kinds of products, it really works for us. Standalone courses are really perfect for some of our students, and full degrees are perfect for others. So different kinds of offerings really has been a key, I think. Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Hi, thank you so much for your talk. My name is Nate. I'm a Berkeley alum. And now I'm an ed tech entrepreneur,
Nice.
helping organizations deliver MOOCs and online education. One thing I wanted to ask you about is you talked about kind of the early days where you kind of built everything yourself, and then you've slowly kind of migrated more towards, existing solutions on the market.
Yes.
And one of the ones was Tableau for data. I'm curious how you use Tableau to gain insights about your learners, and has that influenced your course development?
It's a really great question. Tableau right now has been primarily focused on our marketing and recruitment efforts. But we are looking at we have one data person that's shared across Berkeley and Berkeley Online, so she does amazing work. She's like 3 people, but we do student surveys twice a semester in every course, and we ask students about the technology, the instructor, the course experience, and that helps us really address what's not working in the courses, but we have a long way to go with learning analytics. We really haven't scratched the surface there. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Come back and take some courses with us. Oh, yes.
First of all, thanks for a great presentation.
Thank you.
My name's Tom Arnett. I'm with the Clayton Christensen Institute.
Ah.
I'm curious to hear, as you were launching Berkeley Online, to what extent was that done in close collaboration with the physical campus, and to what extent was it kind of an independent initiative? And where have you seen, where is it valuable for the two to be connected, and where is it valuable actually to be operating separately? It's
a great question. We were initially set up as a total skunkworks, down the block from the college and vertically integrated, and the charge was figure this thing out and then help the campus use what you've created. But it was all about facing outward and providing educational opportunities to people who didn't have the good fortune to come to Boston. Over time, after 8 years of operation, when we decided to go into the degree space, then it made a lot of sense to start to bring things together. We always had like an educational advisory board. We always worked collaboratively with deans and department chairs on the academic side, but the business operations, we were always independent. And now the college is looking to us to help solve student issues of affordability and flexibility. So that's what the whole Pathways thing is about. So it has been start apart, come together, but now there's an interesting tug. We need to keep growing and serving our external audience, and we also need to help take care of the mothership and those students. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Hello, my name is Alba Alcantara, and I am from EduLinker, the founder of EduLinker, the
nice.
Airbnb of education.
Wow.
So I have a question about, I saw in your slide that you encourage preparing high schoolers for Berkeley.
Yes.
So my question is, in the programs that you exposed on the slides, how early can a student join your MOOCs or
Yes.
your certificates? What are the ages?
Most of our students are between 25 and 65, but we have had a lot of high schoolers. We had a 9-year-old in a drum set course, and he had such a positive experience that his parents and he flew to Boston to take a private lesson with that same drum set instructor. We've had some extraordinary younger students, definitely.
So it doesn't matter the age?
No, but for the degree program it does, but for the standalone courses, no, and the MOOCs, no. And the MOOCs really, we have quite a few that are designed for not only preparing for Berkeley, but preparing for any music school. Berkeley's a contemporary music school, so a lot of music teachers, believe it or not, are taking our MOOCs. We've got a series called Developing Your Musicianship, and teachers who came up through the classical model want to learn the contemporary way, and they're taking our MOOCs and courses.
And then I have a second question. Do you teach at the college urban music?
Oh, sure.
Meaning
Yes.
like rock, rap?
Oh, yeah. That's all yes. Rock, rap, hip hop, electronic music, yes, everything you can imagine.
Okay.
Yes, and online as well. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sure.
Sure.
Thank you. Yes.
Hi, I'm an instructional designer at Lesley University, and one of the things that we think about is how students can make connections with each other in the online courses.
Yes.
I'm wondering how you've been able to navigate how students from different cultural backgrounds can engage with each other, and how the instructors handle some culturally responsive teaching.
That's a really great question. So, the different layers of the wedding cake. The non-degree offerings, the courses and certificate programs, have always been about 35% international, right from the very beginning, and that's true on campus as well. So our faculty are very accustomed to having a very diverse student body. It's the degree programs, which it's a statistic. I don't know if you've read this. It was in the Making the Grade, the Babson report. only 1.5% of all online enrollments in the US come from students living outside of the US. So it's not very international in our degree programs at all, about 7%. So it's more than the 1.5%, but about 7%. But you know, you have to be able to speak English to enroll, to engage with our website. So there's a certain proficiency that is just there, you know, when people actually get in through the process. And it really hasn't been a challenge. I'm sure there are things we could be doing better, but there's a lot of communication, a lot of collaboration. People say right from the beginning in the meet and greet, this is where I'm from. You can often tell if English isn't their first language, but they're not taking tests and writing papers, and you know, they're conveying their understanding through projects and rather than language. Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.